into video games, there are some hits and misses, good games and bad games. Sometimes you don't play good games, and other times you play the bad games. These are just some of the games that most people have agreed upon that are the most disappointing from 2017. Disappointing may not necessarily mean bad in some opinions, just that the game in question, when played, was different from what players had in mind when the said game was announced, to when it was finally released, and to last of all when it was first played. Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect 1 and 2 were extraordinarily good, and though the third installment for this series was superb, the ending and some aspects of it left many wanting more, or having an impression that it could have been done slightly differently. Original anticipation was high for the game, but when the original team that developed the series would not technically be manning the helm, and a Quebec team instead will be in charge of the game, some actually noticed that this might be a sign of the trouble that was to come. After release, just a week later, complaints were pouring in to BioWare. Glitches and online problems were rampant, and BioWare responded by patches for the gaming experience, including better lip synchronizing and movement for the characters during gameplay. But the final insult was when BioWare announced that no further downloadable content would be released or developed for the game, which meant that they were abandoning the game and cutting their losses. BioWare Montreal was later merged with another gaming department within Electronic Arts, EA, for a good reason, in part due to the critical disaster that Andromeda was. Even plans for a proposed sequel was cancelled due to the reception from the game and dissolvement from the gaming studio, which left players with an obsolete game mere months after purchase, and easily meant that the Mass Effect franchise is done for and might not be revived for a good amount of time to come. For Honor. When For Honor was announced, the concept was actually different and rather interesting. Factions were fighting and you had to put your allegiance to one of them and use unique characters and gameplay to fight against other players and computer artificial intelligence online. There was even comments that this could or would possibly be a new franchise for the company. But sadly, this was not to be. Almost immediately after launch, problems began to appear. From slow and unhelpful AI that could be on your own team, to seriously overpowered attacks and characters to players leaving the said game the moment the battle turned against them, and no real punishment from Ubisoft towards those players as a result. Players were also upset with the Season Pass, which was not really worth it, as anything offered by the Season Pass could be obtained through enough game playing. But many would abandon ship quickly, as though Ubisoft had promotions and events to bring back players into the game, it would be done almost as quickly as it was debuted. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. When the Versus series debuted and was refined online with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, people who play the online competitive mode noticed one thing important, and it would most likely forever hang over the franchise. That most people would stick to playing a few characters online, and the concept of cheap combos to win matches is paramount. Though aspects of it was interesting, the choice for the main villain was chosen in part to appeal to casual movie viewers who have seen the Marvel Cinematic films of the characters. The graphics are somewhat better, but overall the game plays nearly identically as its predecessor, with nothing new really brought out of Infinite in 2017. These were just some of the games that were considered disappointments in the year of 2017. Now, there were more. What do you think of these said games, and are they disappointments in your opinion for 2017?